Hello everyone, today I will talk about the interest rate forecasting project from March 31st to April 4th. First, I collect the yield to maturity data from 1-year Treasury bill to 30-year Treasury bond on Wall Street Journal, and then I calculated the forecast yield to maturity of 1-year Treasury bill from 1 year later to 29 years later. That's the F2 to F30 we talked about before. Now, I move to the yield to maturity graph change between Monday, March 31st and Tuesday, April 1st. On the graph, we can find the blue line of Tuesday yield maturity curve is a little above the red line of Monday. So the yield to maturity increase on Tuesday. So what happened steepen the yield maturity curve on Tuesday? On Wall Street Journal, I found some events. The Federal Reserve Chairwoman Janet Yellen gave a speech on Monday that claimed the market is about increase to the central bank's target policy rate, but the narrowing and widening of the differential between short-term and long-term yield may continue. That speech gave the market a message: the expected rate will increase. So after this speech, the investors will buy short-term treasury bill and sell long-term treasury bond. That will decrease the yield of short-term bond and increase the yield of long-term bond. So the yield curve will steepen on Tuesday. So now we will watch the change on forecast 1-year interest rate between Monday and Tuesday. Because the yield curve steepen on Tuesday, so the forecast 1-year interest rate of Tuesday on the blue line always a little higher on the interest rate on red line the Monday. But there's some euro pound I found happened in the around the F7. The F7 means the 1-year the forecast 1-year treasury bond rate after 6 years from now. To figure out what happened, I go back to the data of yield to maturity. I found on the R7 of Tuesday is a little lower than the R7 on Monday. So R7 means the 7-year treasury bond now from 7-year treasury bond. So the decrease on R7 on about Tuesday lead to the big difference on the forecast curve on Tuesday. So we can watch a little change on literature on yield to maturity will lead to a big change on the forecast 1-year interest rate. Now we move to the yield maturity change between Tuesday, April 1st and Wednesday, April 2nd. On the yield maturity graph, the blue line of Wednesday is still above the red line of Tuesday. So the yield to maturity of Wednesday are still increasing. So what happened to make the market still steepen the yield curve on Wednesday? I go to the Wall Street Journal to find some big events. The treasury price slid Wednesday after a report showed the private sector payrolls added 191,000 new jobs last month, raising expectation about a forthcoming payroll report. As the labor market continues to improve, Treasury investors are trying to figure out when the Federal Reserve will begin raising its key policy rate, which would drag bond yield higher along with it. And the Fed Chairwoman Janet Yellen said in a news conference last month that rate hikes could come as soon as 6 months after the central bank finished winding down its bond buying stimulus program, expected to end by the close of the year. Message both told the total market the expiry rate will increase later, so the investors will buy short-term treasury bill and sell long-term treasury bond. That's decrease the yield of short-term bond and increase the yield of long-term bond, so the yield curve becomes steep. So now we move to the forecast 1-year interest rate change between Tuesday and Wednesday. Because the yield maturity curve steepen on Wednesday, so the blue line of Wednesday is on forecast graph, also a little above the red line of Tuesday. And on the red circle I marked, the unusual point of F7 have already been corrected on Wednesday. The blue line on F7 is smooth, but there are another unusual point happened about F11. I make a purple circle to mark it. There is a big drop on F11. That means F11 is the 1 year, the focused 1 year interest rate from 10 years from later now. Go back to the yield maturity data I found. the R11 of Wednesday is lower than the R10 of Wednesday. The R11 means the 11 years treasury bond rate. So the decrease of the decrease of 11 treasury bond leads to the big jump of the focused 1 year interest rate on 10 years later. So also the same conclusion, a small difference, a small change on the yield maturity will lead a big change on the focused 1 year interest rate curve. Now we move to the yield maturity change between Wednesday, April 2nd and Thursday, April 3rd. On the graph, we can find the two lines, the blue line and the red line, is very close. But this is the first time the blue line a little low below the red line. So that means the yield maturity became decrease on Thursday. So we can see the yield maturity curve became flat on Thursday. So what happened on the market flattened the yield maturity curve on Thursday? I go to Wall Street Journal and found some message. On Wall Street Journal it said the treasury price rose Thursday after a round of jobless and trade data as the market set up for a highly watched payroll report in the next session. Some analysts said the bond price also got a boost as some investors booked profits from stock that hit record highs earlier Thursday and found higher bond yield attractive. So that means some hot money move from the stock market to the treasury market. So that leads to the bond price go higher and the bond yield go decrease. When the bond yield decrease, the investors will sell short-term treasury bill and buy long-term treasury bond. That will increase the yield of short-term bond and decrease yield of long-term bond. So the investors flatten the yield maturity curve on Thursday. Now we move to a focused 1 year interest rate change between Wednesday and Thursday. Because the flat yield curve on Thursday, so the blue line of Thursday focused rate is a little lower than the red line of Wednesday. But there are some also one euro point happen on the about F7, F24 to F26 on the blue line. So I go back to the yield to maturity data I found. The R26, the 26-year treasury bond, the yield of 26 year is lower the yield of 25-year treasury bond on the Thursday market, on the Thursday market. So that's the decrease on yield to maturity lead to unusual change on the focused 1 year interest rate on F25. Lead to the F25 didn't go up on the F25 between the F26. Same conclusion, a small change on the yield to maturity will lead to a big change on the focused interest rate curve. Now we move to yield maturity change between Thursday, April 3rd and Friday, April 4th. On the graph you can see the blue line of Friday is still lower than the red line of Thursday. So the yield maturity continuously decrease on Friday. So we can see the yield to maturity curve became flat on Friday. So what thing happened on the market? Continuously flatten the yield curve on Friday I found on the Wall Street Journal. The bond investors pull out into the U.S. government bond market Friday after the U.S. government added 192,000 jobs in March, below the expectation for an increase of 200,000. And the team wage pressure continues to suggest the economy faces little inflation risk at the moment. Investors have allocated more cashback to Treasury bond in recent weeks from the riskier assets such as stock and junk bond. The Friday's rally in Treasury bond was partly driven by investors dialing back wager that bond price would fall further, known as shorts. In doing so, they came back to the market to buy bond and sending yield lower. So much money come into the Treasury bond market, go up the price and go down the yield curve. So the yield curve flattened in Friday. Now we move to the focused value interest rate change between Thursday and Friday. Because the flatten of yield curve, the blue line stands Friday is a little lower than the red line stand Thursday. But there also have some unusual point happened about F9 to F10. Go back to the year maturity data I found. The R9, the 9-year Treasury bond rate about Friday is much lower than the R9 of Thursday. So the big difference caused a big wave on the focused value interest rate curve on the blue line. The big wave happened about F10 to F8 to F10 because the small wave on the R8 to R10. So that's the simple conclusion. A small wave on the yield to maturity will lead to a big wave on the focused value interest rate. Thank you for listening. That's all my presentation about the focused rate project. Thank you.